Buzz, buzz, fizz, fizz. Oh, what a relief it is. It's the Columbus Blue Jackets, one of the last few teams that got into the NHL. That being in 2000, when they and their expansion cousins, the Minnesota Wild, made this a 30-team league. Of course, we know Vegas is 31, but of course, I can't do a what if on them because they've only done 2 seasons. So, anyway, basically, what I've got to say is that the Columbus Blue Jackets were the picture of playoff shittiness. They only had one playoff appearance before 2013, that being against Detroit in 2008, and they got swept. But once they got to the Eastern Conference, things changed for them. They became a better team. They got to playoff games. Heck, they had Pittsburgh dead to rights in the first round in 2014 and lost in 6 games, but they still did well. Columbus headed into the 2019 playoffs were the last NHL franchise to have a playoff series victory. They've had 0. The Vegas Golden Knights, in their first year, got to the Stanley Cup Finals with 3 playoff series victories. That's amazing. Columbus just couldn't get it done. And then, of course, to top things off, they would face the Tampa Bay Lightning, who won 62 games in the regular season. And you're thinking, well, Columbus might win 1 or 2, but Tampa's got them. And then the playoffs happened. And then it all fell apart. I kid you not. Columbus, for some reason, was trailing big in game 1. And then they pulled the rabbit out of the hat and won game 1. Okay, fine. But Tampa now knows Columbus is dangerous and will stop them. What the hell is happening? Why am I hearing so many goal kabooms? Columbus won. They swept Tampa Bay, of all people. They swept them. They didn't beat them, they swept them. I'm like, what the fuck, man? But anyway, Columbus then got a second round matchup against the Boston Bruins. You would be thinking that whoever won that playoff series between the Bruins and the Leafs would have the definite advantage over Columbus. You'll be right. Boston easily sent Columbus packing, basically telling them that you got lucky. But thanks for the ride, so now we can get to the Stanley Cup Finals. Boston cannot forget the fact that Columbus basically gave them a hard time. Boston almost. If Boston won the Stanley Cup, they would have been like the best opponent was in their first round because the Leafs took them to Game 7. But anyway, Boston took care of Columbus. So the basic what if is obviously what if Columbus beat Boston and moved on to face the Carolina Hurricanes, who were the winners of the other Eastern semifinals. So we'll figure that out. So Carolina takes on Columbus. Good old Peter Mrazek versus Sergei Bobrovsky. Make sure that the playoff thing is on because we don't want overtime. We want more. We don't want shootouts. And Carolina starts off with a 3-2 win. Borkstrand for the Jackets, and then Jordan Stahl made it 1-1. The veteran Jordan Stahl. Dougie Hamilton made it 2-1 Hurricanes before Cam Atkinson tied it at 2. But Hamilton scores on a rebound. It's 3-2 Canes, and they win the game. Mrazek beats Bobrovsky. Big win for Carolina. Hamilton, Mrazek stalled the 3 stars. And then Columbus comes right back with a 3-0 win. Atkinson, Anderson, Atkinson. Good old Cam Atkinson and Bobrovsky did a much better job getting the shutout. Cam Atkinson, Zach Werenski, the other stars. 1-1 series. Carolina says, let's go with Mrazek again. See what happens. That happens. Carolina wins 3-2 in overtime. Atkinson and Riley Nash score for Columbus, while Brett Pesce and Justin Williams, the veteran Justin Williams, scored. And then in overtime, Justin Williams puts it in. Hey, what do you say? Carolina wins. I like Bobrovsky. Williams, Bobrovsky, Aho, the 3 stars of the game. So Justin Williams does his job. 2-1. And then Carolina takes a 4-2 win. So it's now 3-1. Amazing. Martiniuk, McGinn, and Walmart made it 3-0 quickly. Columbus did score a pair of goals in the second period by Pierre-Luc Dubois and Ryan Murray. But Carolina put the icing on the cake, Walmart. So Mrazek does his job. Duclair and Mayan go down with injuries. Bad news for Columbus. Duclair's hurt. in a sense. At 3 games to 1, Columbus is up against it. They think that Bobrovsky is not playing up to par, so they put Korpisalo in. And it worked. Not only did he win, he gets a shutout, 5-0. Cam Atkinson and Sakarolinski scored in the first period. Then Panarin puts up a pair of goals before Boo Jenner at 9:08. Halfway through the game, Mrazek is gone, so they put Nejalevic. Why the fuck couldn't they put the other guy in? Put McElhaney in. You know, Newrider got a double minor for boarding, but that was just frustration. Korpisalo, Panarin, Atkinson. So it's 3-2. Columbus thinks that they're going to win this game. And they do. Columbus wins game 6, 3-0. So Carolina's in deep trouble. Atkinson, Jenner, Anderson. So Columbus is pulling off rabbits in their hat. And Korpisalo is the uncontested winner. Josh Anderson, Boone Jenner. We have a game 7. Both teams decide to put their backups in. I think because they need to know someone's going to win. Could be. It is. And whoa, lo and behold, Columbus comes out of freaking nowhere. Korpisalo is the hero. He won 3 straight games, 5-2. So Carolina thought they had it. Josh Anderson had a goal. And Borgstrom made it 2-0. Aho scored for Carolina. Josh Anderson made it 3-1. David Savard scored for the Jackets. Aho scored. Carolina make 4-2, but Nick Foligno put the rabbit out of the hat. So I guess Korpisalo was what's wrong with Columbus. Why they were down 3-1. They figured they might as well give him a chance. So Columbus will now have to deal with the St. Louis Blues. And I believe that St. Louis is the road team for this because it had fewer points. So we'll just get that going. Actually, hold on a minute. St. Louis had 5 more points than them in overtime and all that. Columbus 2 more wins, 1 point. So just 1 point. St. Louis would have game 1. I didn't know that. And Korpisalo is the hero as Columbus wins 3-2 over the Blues. Panarin and O'Reilly for the Jackets. Then the Jackets get goals by Dubois and Seth Jones. Peter Angelo for the Blues, 3-2. Oh, Jake Allen's in net. Technically, that's supposed to be wrong. Korpisalo the second star, Panarin the first star. Sorry about that. It's supposed to be Binghamton. Columbus wins 3-1. Maybe Binghamton does so badly that they decide to switch hands. Dubois made it 1-0. Then Panarin and Foligno. Tarasenko for the Blues. The battle of Blues versus Blue Jackets. It looks like Korpisalo's on fire. He should be on fire. He came in for game 5. He's won 5 straight games. But St. Louis snaps it with an overtime winner. Ryan O'Reilly scored for the Blues. Panarin, Bozak. Cam Atkinson made it 2-2. But Ryan O'Reilly scored the overtime goal. And they finally win again. So O'Reilly, Atkinson, Panarin, the 3 stars. And then Columbus gets their own back 3-1 to take a 3-1 series lead. Barbashev scored for St. Louis. It was like, it's over. But David Savard, Ken Atkinson, and then Dubinsky. Dubinsky, 3-1 Columbus. Korpisalo, Binghamton, Dubinsky. So it looks like Korpisalo was the answer. St. Louis down 3-1. Might as well go with Binghamton. And it worked, 5-4. So 3-2. Panarin scored quickly for Columbus, then Tarasenko and Shen, and then David Savard 2-2. But 11:28, Peter Angelo made it 3-2. Pierre-Luc Dubois tied it at 3. Zach Sanford made it 4-3 Blues, and they looked like they were going to win. But then Panarin scores on a rebound in the final minutes to tie the game for overtime. But Alex Steen, that Leaf fans want him back. He scores the winner. Peter Angelo, Panarin, Dubois. the Jackets said, you know what, we did it with Corpusalo. We're not going to fuck it up again. And St. Louis wins 2-1. So Columbus might be suffering that same fate. So Parayko and Pietrangelo for St. Louis made it 2-1. Atkinson for the Jackets. So man, Columbus could actually lose this series. Parayko, Pietrangelo, Binghamton. So now it's on to Game 7 in St. Louis. They need Bobrovsky. Blues go with Binghamton. And boy, you could hear Columbus saying, oh no, we're going to blow a 3-1 series lead after coming back from 3-1. But they won. Jackets off to a quick 2-0 lead. Borgstrom and Panarin made it 2-0. Jaden Schwartz made it 2-1. But Nick Foligno scores a power play goal to make it 3-1. Tyler Bozak made it 3-2. The third period, nothing on the board. The Blues tried everything, but nothing really worked. Patrick Maroon missed the net. 3-2 your final score. As Bobrovsky proved that he was good after all. Borgstrom, the first star, Tarasenko, Bozak. St. Louis, I thought, was going to win the Stanley Cup for realsies. But Columbus wins their what if. Very good. 7 out of 11. That's a good record for the NHL. Better than baseball, that's for sure.